Diablo 4 is dead, as we all know. But wait! What if there's a chance that Diablo 4 can finally make a comeback? Let's give it the not second, not third, not fifth, I think like 15th chance? 15th chance to make that sweet, sweet comeback and become the game that we all hoped. With the big update patch of February 29. Oh yes, it's gonna be trash, let's be real. I'm watching this video just to make fun of how probably bad whatever that it is that they're gonna show us is gonna be. And it's gonna be vampiric published, spoiler alert. So, be excited! One more minus slot on your items so you can't even, customize your character anymore. Any day now. Any day. Haradric Cube update, boys. It is happening.
We got a date, and it couldn't be more exciting. This campfire chat is not only going to finally show us actual Gauntlet gameplay, there's also a mention of bloodthirsty power set returning. Let's read the little given to
I'm actually in front of him, this Scoozy.
us, what that would actually mean with the knowledge we have. The chat is happening on February 29th, 11 a.m.
Oh, come on! You can't do that!
We will have a live react stream here on the channel, and we'll get a first look at Trials and the Gauntlet. And here's the first mention of Trials.
Yeah, because they, surprise, they understand that no one cares about the Gauntlet. There's literally like 3 people in the whole of the universe hyped about the Gauntlet. And they're arguably not sound of mind. No one cares about the Gauntlet. The fact that the Diablo devs cannot get it to their thick skulls, well, it actually makes sense because, all the complaints about Diablo 4 have been pretty much the same, and right as rain, you know what Diablo 4 devs have constantly done? Ignored the things that people ask them to change, to fix, to make better. Exactly. So, the fact that the Diablo devs have not picked up on the idea that literally no one cares about the Gauntlet, kinda on brand for them. Very on brand for them.
What is Trials? This has never been mentioned ever anywhere before.
Who cares what it is?
Bonus coming to the Gauntlet.
But let me make a guess. Whatever Trials is, it's probably just a Diablo 3 mechanic. And as we all know, Diablo 3 was so well loved, so well received, so loved by players, so played, that it obviously makes sense to take out mechanics from Diablo 3 and put them in Diablo 4 because that is the road to success.
The main question I finally want an answer to is, what tier is the Gauntlet? Because in the video, it looked like a tier 70 dungeon. And if the Gauntlet is only as easy as a tier 70 dungeon, the builds we can do are going to be so incredible. Forget Juggernaut, forget any defensive aspect, just putting all the utility stuff together. You don't have to go for armor nodes anymore. Screw elemental resistance to a degree, because a tier 70 dungeon is nothing. I mean, I can literally go with only rare gear that doesn't have a single aspect on and kind of beat a tier 70 dungeon with a sophisticated Paragon board. Yeah, a bit exaggerated there, but you know what I mean. That would be super fun. If it's a tier 100, things are looking quite different though. Tier 70 more accessible for everyone, tier 100 more try-hard. We will see. Very important here, we also have a special event to showcase members of the development team playing the Gauntlet. They'll be joined by Diablo creators Macrobe.
The developers playing the Gauntlet. Oh boy, I can't wait for that to happen. Imagine how good it's gonna be. Imagine how well that went the last time they did it. Okay? A guy failing ball lightning sorceress. Well played, Diablo team. But before that, everyone's favorite. The 2 level designers that were playing Diablo 4, probably for the first time in their lives, that got given level 50 fresh accounts, fully geared, World Tier 1, went into a dungeon, and they literally only accidentally pressed one time the right click. Oh yeah, they were using basic left click abilities constantly, and when they accidentally clicked the right click, they visibly got scared. And then in that development stream, where they were supposed to talk about the dungeons and dungeon designs and why they make all of those decisions, you know what they talked about? Being lesbian and how awesome that is. Yeah, we got to know more about their private lives than the reasons why dungeons are such a disappointing mess. And then recently now it's been like a month I think since I played Diablo 4, but I went into a non-vault dungeon, okay? And it was horrible. The design was horrible. You go in, you go through a straight, narrow path that makes you feel bored because it's like almost you don't have movement freedom at all. The mob density was horrible in every dungeon, obviously. And then I go to this room, and there's like six paths where I need to go, and it's like I don't want to make this choice. I know that there's only one room that I need to go to, and that some of these are gonna be dead ends. Like, dude, fire everyone at who works in Diablo 4, and never allow them to work in the games industry again. They are incompetent fools.
Boy and Anna Cake, Macro Boy, one of my fellow Necro creators, to commentate on the action. So there's actually going to be a real playthrough of the Gauntlet happening to finally see how is ABC working. Is this interesting for you?
No, it's not.
This is a gameplay loop you'll be enjoying
No.
with the weekly changing dungeon, because there is rewards happening. There's fixed skins and other shenanigans that you will get from the leaderboard. So it's not
a skin. Wow. You know, the thing that no one cares in Diablo 4 because the color palette is two fucking colors and it's called gray and black.
Not only for the no-life grinders, there might be permanent rewards to be gained for your account. But this is not only the Gauntlet update, it is also the mid-season update, and that's where they promised us something huge. Every single mid-season, there will be a return of previous season mechanics to the game. Let's reminiscence here. Last time, when we went from Season 1 to Season 2 and then had the mid-season update, we did get the Sacrilegious ring for Necromancer and all the other rings for the classes. So each class got their respective one unique ring with one malignant power returning. And then in Season 2, we had the...
Yeah, I talked about this. So, essentially for some classes, now it's mandatory to have -1 item slot because there is literally no world, almost no build, where you don't want these rings 100% on your character. It's so rare to actually have a build where you don't want to have these rings. It is crazy. Almost all Necromancer builds want to use that ring. Because it auto-casts Corpse Tendrils at the bare minimum, that's just really good. Okay? And, again, the more seasons pass, and the more stupid gear like that Blizzard puts in, the bigger the chances that we're gonna have a Haradric Cube. Because, at this point, honestly, with all the uniques that you need that are flat out just overpowered and uber rares, you know, uber uniques, you don't have any more slots for, basic stuff. So you can't really make builds unless a whole build is, like, crammed into one item. The Sorcerer's Meteor, by the way, helmet I'm talking about specifically here. Yeah, Blizzard will soon have to add the Haradric Cube to the game. Otherwise, you're not going to have any legendary affixes on your gear any longer. Or they're going to have to, cram in whole builds, whole sets in singular items, which is going to be hilariously stupid.
The vampiric powers, and here they're already saying it, and bloodthirsty powers set to make their return. Now the big question would be, how are they going to return? Because the malignant hearts used to be sockets, and these sockets get turned into rings. Looking back to Season 2 with the vampiric powers, you had the 5 to choose from, but each of them also had their respective cost of pacts. And then you had to have the equipment with the right amount of...
I already talked about this. The pacts are just fucking garbage and should not even exist. It's like an annoyance at best.
Pacts on. Now, I can't see them actually bringing back pacts and powers. That would be kind of like too much. You have your familiar, and then you also need to get your equipment, and then you need to farm pacts again at this point. You start farming pacts at the start of the season, that's fine, and what's so not. But right now, mid-season update, you would have to introduce a complete new pack.
It's my guess what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like an some kind of item, and it's just gonna have 2, 3, maybe 4 of these packed instantaneously on it, and then you just have to RNG farm it until the point where everyone starts to complain, oh, it's too hard to get the ones that I want, this sucks. And then Blizzard is gonna do the classic Blizzard thing and do a complete 360 around, no scope, and make it so, it's gonna essentially be like the ring from the Malignant Heart. You kill the boss one time, you find the ring, congratulations, chances are you don't no longer need to farm it because reasons. And this is going to be the same thing. You get this item one time, and you're done. You're done. You never want to farm it again because it has all the stuff that you want on it.
Grind. So that's probably not happening. We're not getting the full reel to return. What is possible, though, is that they would actually give us vampiric gems. Because right now, what are we doing? They'd be gaining armor, or with the royal diamonds gaining resistance. But that armor and resistance, we could weasel out over the Paragon board and maybe reduce our damage ceiling a little bit. It shouldn't be impossible. By the way, as a Necro, don't forget the new attack speed node. It's very game changer. Now imagine for a second, not the screwed up thing with Malignant Rings. So when we have an item, it has just a socket. And then we get 3 vampiric gems per character. Or hell, even only 1 vampiric gem. But I want to have 3 vampiric gems. And you could just put them in your sockets, and it doesn't matter what kind of color the socket has or any wood. You can just put them in. Now, what power would you like to see returning?
Good luck
There's one
with
that
that.
has been all-time good for everyone, and that is Ravenous. With Lucky Hit up to a 20% chance to increase your attack speed by 40% of your total movement speed. More movement speed, more attack speed, and it kind of allowed a lot of
Not for my auto bomber necromancer, not.
builds that were sluggish to function a bit more active. Now, getting this in your jewelry and permanent might be a little bit OP. On the other hand, it would enable a lot of builds to straight function. Also, this is absolute endgame, because where are these going to drop? Since it's vampiric powers, they're most likely dropping from Lord Zir, and Lord Zir's Exquisite Blood, and Exquisite Blood is quite shitty to get because it's world bosses and legion events. Otherwise, you don't actually get them, and you need 9 to summon Lord Zir, so getting the new vampiric blood powers might be a hassle to a degree. Having Ravenous as a gem, though.
Yep, and you know what's gonna happen? Blizzard's gonna again pull a Blizzard. And they're gonna make it so, one Legion event now drops 50 Exquisite Bloods. Again, this is what they did with the Living Steel, and again, Blizzard has no middle ground. There's only one extreme and the other extreme. Either it's too easy or too hard. Every single time, by the way, my prediction rate is 100% for everything that they do here, okay? I predicted that the companion, the pet, the season 3 mechanic, is then either going to be overpowered and one-shotting everything in the range of 15 screens, or it's going to be underpowered garbage that no one likes. And whichever one it is, Blizzard's going to flip-flop in a week or maybe a couple of days even, and just completely turn it to the other thing. If it was OP, now they're gonna nerf it to non-existence. If it was weak, then they're gonna nerf it, now buff it to being completely OP. And that's what we got. We got it from 0 to one-shotting Lilith. There you go. Very fun, as one might say. And again, this is the only thing that Blizzard does.
Would be incredible, considering especially that these things stay in the game. Like the rings, the Malignant Rings are now forever in the game. Whatever we get with the vampiric powers might stay forever in the game. A second power a lot of people are hoping for, and I was thinking maybe unique boots could also be a thing. Metamorphosis.
Yeah,
However
that's a
you
good
pronounce
one.
it. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Meta. That makes you unstoppable on dashing. It was a little bit OP, but it was the only way for Necro to become unstoppable. On top of Blood Mist, but Blood Mist has an 18-20 second cooldown. So this, with T-Bolt's Will, was the only way that Necromancer could be using T-Bolt's Will, for example. That as a gem, or as a unique boots, I would be fine with that instead of Flicker Stab. One that was always good, Sanguine Brace. When you kill an enemy, fortify for 6% of their base life. While you have more fortify than half of your maximum life, you gain 8% critical strike chance. Just one of these base powers that always works. We gotta consider that some are just too strong to kind of make a comeback. Flowing Veins gave us 60% multiplicative more damage on our damage over time effects.
Good times.
I mean, that permanent in the game seems like a bit over the top. Or Hemomancy.
Who cares? Literally, who cares? This was one of my favorites. One of the reasons I think Season 2 was actually semi-decent was because of this thing. Because a lot of people used it. And when you were doing the blood harvest, you know what happened? You used shift key or clicked on something because this procced literally on everything. And the thing about this thing is, it actually like hits targets that are off screen. It's a huge radius. So it hits targets that are off screen. So you found a pack, you activated the Hemomancy, and you hit things that were off screen. So when you killed the pack, you got surrounded from all sides, and that was kind of cool. Admittedly, complete accident by Blizzard, obviously. They would never make something as fun as that. But it worked like that, and it was awesome because of it.
Which allowed us to do...
I literally kept it, not because it was good, but because it did that. Okay? I kept it just for that. I didn't care about it. It was just fun.
Copious amounts of physical damage to everyone around us every 4 seconds, making it able to just fly through content. These powers are simply too good to be permanently in the game. So gotta be something amazing that helps, but without game breaking. I mean, like the Malignant Rings, they're really good, but they're not like, wow, this is like absolute game breaking. Yes, the Ring of Sacrilegious Souls for Necro is used on most builds.
Yep.
But it's not the best choice in every...
I mean, it's almost a 100 guaranteed -1 item slot.
Every single build. It's not a must, ultra must have. Another way that...
I think it is. I don't think there's any other item for a Necro as must have as that ring.
It could bring vampiric powers back is like a vampiric enchantment, a vampiric aspect. Either to replace normal aspects or to latch on bonus. Right now I have Windstriker on my boots, but who says that we can't have a vampiric utility aspect that you on top of Windstriker can put on your boots or on your chest? Just like a leech, because it's vampiric. It just leeches onto your item and it's like a double aspect situation. That would only be possible with utility maybe, and only possible on boots and chest. There's ways this whole system can come back and be really interesting. What do you think? Which vampiric powers would you love to see return for your class?
None. Probably, well, some, yeah. But not in the way that Blizzard's gonna return it. Again, another classic Blizzard L. Just waiting to happen. Can't wait for it. Anyway, that was Pony Hoof. It is what it is. Diablo got... He mainly does Diablo builds. I rarely see video recommendations of him just speaking about Diablo. But he has interesting builds, you know. He did a Necromancer build that doesn't require you use, you know, a Corpse Explosion, Shadow Explosion. So there you go. That's unique. Anyway, this is Quizzer said, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.